Alright, so I'm back with another trading series video. We're just going to finish setting up the chart over here in Trading Lite. If you remember, we were basically just starting from scratch on this program to set it up how I like it with all these different indicators, because it is a very complicated software with a lot of different stuff going on. So I thought I'd actually go through it step by step so we can all kind of get set up together for future trading and my tutorials for the trading series, because you're going to want to be using similar stuff, or at least just know the different indicators that I'm using so you can implement it into whatever software you're using, because obviously Trading Lite is not the only one that has, open interest or CVD or the footprint charts or any of that. You can be using exo charts or even importing this stuff into TradingView with scripts and whatnot. But yeah, with that being said, let's get started and getting this bottom half filled out here, because in the last video we did these indicators here on the top left. We got, the split screen and all that. So yeah, jumping back over here into what we were setting up last time, we'll go ahead, jump over here to indicators. This is an official indicator and it's right up here at the top, open interest. So you'll want to go ahead and add that to the chart. So that all looks good there. We'll kind of bring down the window, make it a little bit smaller. And open interest is telling you essentially the amount of leverage open on the market, right? So when it's green going up, positions are opening. Red going down means positions are closing. And being able to know that information is absolutely huge. You can tell where traders are going to be trapped when traders are longing the top or shorting the bottom, right? There's just a lot of different stuff you can do with open interest. If you have momentum on your side during a trade, right? If you are in a long, you want to see open interest going up with CVD going up, and we'll get into that CVD in just a second. Open interest is an absolute must, in my opinion, when taking any leverage positions. Now, the next one I had was open interest delta, right? The OI delta, and this is not an official indicator, right? If we go over here to my favorites, you can see right here, OI/OV delta. Go ahead and add that to your chart. You'll just want to search it up in the community indicators here, right? I think if you just look up OI, you should be able to see it. It's right down here by 4. And I recommend going through all of these, right? Sort it by likes and just check out all these indicators. They got a lot of cool stuff the community has made. But open interest delta, essentially it's very similar to open interest, but it just shows the change in open interest during times, right? So it's the difference in the open interest, and we'll get into in later episodes how you actually use open interest with open interest delta and how they kind of confluence for different trades. But we'll save that for another time. Right now, I just want to jump into the next indicator, and that's going to be CVD, right? The cumulative volume delta. I don't remember if this is an official or not. I think, no, it's not an official indicator. You just want to look up CVD, and I use D7R CVD Plus. He has a lot of different indicators on Trading Lite, so we'll go ahead and add his CVD. You always want to be using open interest with CVD, right? Because the cumulative volume delta is telling you which direction those positions are opening. So if we have open interest going down, that means positions are closing, and then CVD going down, that means it is the longs that are closing. Whereas if we saw open interest going up, but CVD was going down, that would actually be shorts opening, right? Open interest tells you if it's opening or closing. CVD tells you if it's a long or short. So that's how you kind of use those together to figure out what traders are doing in the market. And if you want a more detailed view of what's going on in the markets, it's an indicator they call bar statistics, or the footprint on the chart. So once again, go over here to indicators, do official indicators, scroll down until you find bar statistics right here. So go ahead and add that to the chart. And as you'll see, they're very, very tiny right now, right? You can't really see much. We'll go ahead and open up the settings for the bar statistics. And I actually messed around with this a little bit, right? Changing the colors and whatnot. You can make this brighter on the lower end, so it's actually kind of contrasting a little bit better. I tend to do that. If you look at my chart over here, you can see the colors are drastically different from what it's showing on here. But that's all just personal preference. However you want to color them, I would recommend just keeping buy screen and cells red, obviously. And then you can go ahead and change all the different rows in here. So again, this is just very subjective on how you want to kind of order these rows. If we go ahead and look at how I have it set up, I've taken out a lot of these because I don't think they're extremely useful. I went ahead and put the delta on top, then the total volume, then buys and sells, and then your liquidation. So let's go ahead and let's set that up the same way. So we'll go ahead, we'll have delta on the top, then it's total right after that. We'll take out the rest of these up in here, and then you have long and short liquidations down below. And then finally, I guess we should have done this to start, but like I was saying, these are very small. You can't actually read any of it. It's because of the time frames, very short. Right, it's on the current time frame, which is 15 minute. I like to go ahead and have higher time frames on these. You don't have to, but I like to go ahead, put this one to an hourly, and then what I'll actually do is go ahead and I would duplicate this. All right, just go back into the settings for it. Just right click on here and just duplicate it down there at the bottom. So you'll get the same thing on the bottom, and with this duplicate, I'll set this one to 4 hours, so you can get different time frames in here. And then what I'll do is I'll have multiple charts set up. So I'll have, this is like my main time frame, right? I like to keep everything like 15 minutes on my main view, and then like hourly, 4 hour down here, so I can kind of get multiple time frames in one chart. But then I'll have a smaller time frame chart where it's like 5 minute up top, 15 minute, and hourly. So you'll want to go ahead and do that. If you look at my workspaces over here, right, you can add different workspaces. And you can see all the different kind of workspaces I have. And then lastly, we're going to be throwing something in that you definitely don't have to have. It's one of those community indicators that I just thought was pretty cool. It lets you visualize what's going on in the market a little bit differently. And that's going to be your modifiable open interest ratio, right? The modifiable OI ratio, you can just look that up. This one's not very popular, right? It's kind of an unknown indicator. I just happened to find it in the community indicators. Thought it was pretty cool. What I like to do with this is move the threshold up. 0.3 is a pretty good threshold to have on here, and essentially what this will show you is whenever you get spikes in the open interest ratio, it'll display here. So this red bar right here actually tells me that a lot of longs were closed during this candle right here, right? So coming from the top down, those are positions closing. Red would be longs closing, blue would be shorts closing, and then coming from the bottom up, like right here, we can see these are a lot of longs opening, and then a bunch of shorts opening right there at the top. So as you can see, it's a pretty cool tool to use to be able to just know when those big liquidity spikes are happening in the market, especially being able to confluence it from like Binance to Bybit. So if you see one of these spikes, like as you can see here, when Binance got all their longs stopped out, they didn't reopen, whereas Bybit, whenever the longs got stopped out over here, they actually reopened long positions at the bottom. And Bybit is usually more on the correct side of the market, so that would actually be a kind of bullish indicator there. Not saying that you should be relying just on that confluence to take a trade, but it is just one added extra thing that is nice to have at the bottom, I feel like. But yeah, that is this workspace fully complete. So yeah, that's going to be all for this video. Just wanted to quickly kind of finish off setting up this chart, so in the next video we can actually get into a whole bunch of different trade setups, really getting into how many confluences and what confluences I would need to personally take a trade. So we'll save all that for next time. But with that being said, make sure to subscribe, join the Discord. Link is in the description. I will be headed out. Thanks for watching.